I'm completely redesigning my half-acre property, transforming all 8 of my garden spaces into a French country oasis with romance, old world charm, and something beautiful to experience in all 4 seasons. And because we made the decision to stay here for a few more years, I'm allowing myself to think a bit bigger and to take on projects that I might not have considered when my timeline felt shorter. This is obviously a large undertaking, both exciting and a bit daunting, but it's not something I'll be doing all at once. So today's video is meant to serve as an anchor for you and for me as we begin bringing this vision to life over the years ahead. I'll share an overview, a rough sketch of the property as I see it now, so you can start to picture the garden rooms, the gathering spaces, and how each area will function together as a cohesive French country garden surrounding and complementing my historic home. My half-acre urban property has 8 distinctive garden spaces: the frontage, the side yard, the hydrangea room, the woodland, the magnolia garden, the apiary, and the arbor garden. A note from editing Jenna here, these names may change in the future, but for now, this is how I'm going to be referring to them. Just wanted to clarify that quickly. So let's look at each of these in turn with an overview of my vision for each of these spaces. I will be creating a dedicated video for each garden space that goes into much greater detail in future. But right now, let's start out front with the frontage, which is self-explanatory. Other than dedicated maintenance to our ancient weeping beech tree, we've done very little out here. Mainly because we just weren't sure what we wanted. We did tear out a very ugly hedge, and now I'm ready to put in a huge hedge of pinnacle hydrangeas. I've already got them purchased, and that is definitely on this year's list. We are set back a good bit from the road, thankfully. Apologies for the vertical. This is the only footage I could find of our beautiful weeping beech all leafed out. Here is another angle looking toward the road and our house. Up here, I'm looking for privacy, sound dampening, curb appeal, and old world elegance. I'll be leaning into height, structure, layers, and everything from our carriage barn forward is pinks and greens and whites. So you'll see a lot of different variations on those textures and colors to create that feeling of depth and privacy. Up next is the arbor garden, which is going to be turned into a rose and peony bed, and I think it's going to need a better name, so we may need to work on that one. This garden is just outside my back door, and it leads into the hydrangea room and from there into the rose parterre. It connects with the sidewalk that wraps around the whole house, and it's framed by this rectangular arbor, which we've also flanked with wrought iron fencing, and we added a gate. I created these beds with stones that were found on the property, and there's a gentle arcing curve to the whole bed. The light here is funny. It's part sun, I would say, more than it's part shade, and I want this to serve as a frothy, romantic invitation to the hydrangea room just behind. The colors here are soft to deep pinks, whites, creams, and a touch of apricot here and there. When we moved in, our entire side yard was in fact a yard. It was just a grassy expanse, and I knew I wanted it to be a garden. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted though, so I just put a whole bunch of roses hither and thither without a ton of structure, and it has a very cottage vibe feel right now, which is lovely, but not what I truly want out of this space. This is a garden I'm very much gonna model after gardens I've seen in France that are these beautiful formal rose parterres with a beautiful fountain focal piece, big green hedge backdrop that will again lend privacy and structure to this whole space. I'm going to be moving all kinds of plants around, finding better locations for them, and truly restructuring this whole space. This one's going to be exciting, but it's also going to be a big undertaking. I found this shot from overhead that might help you also visualize the way that the rose parterre, the hydrangea room, and the arbor garden all connect to each other. I took this in February. On to the hydrangea room. I am so excited about this garden. It will probably see the least change in terms of redesign, but in my mind, this garden finally has come together in terms of knowing what I want from it. So I will be putting a lot of work in on this beauty this spring. My vision for this garden is to walk into an embrace of soft, pink hydrangeas under the umbrella of this beautiful chestnut tree that we have here. It's a horse chestnut, not an American chestnut, sadly, but it is a beautiful tree that creates a part shade to part sun environment. The primary plantings here are incredible blush, and the blooms on these are just to die for. The bumblebees absolutely agree. In addition to the hydrangeas, I want to create a sweeping, shady border using foxglove, Solomon seal, anemones, lamium, and maybe even some boxwoods. I'd also love to put some statuary in this space, so that will be a really fun thing to look for when thrifting or visiting garden centers. Directly behind the hydrangea room is the area we call the woodland. It's really just a small shady corridor created by the shade cast by that beautiful chestnut, a stunning mature oak tree that's just behind it, and the frame of the carriage barn on the right-hand side. We did have a couple of trees removed from the back side of this area last year, and it changed it to more of a shade to part shade, which I'll keep in mind as I design this area. I'd love to fill this space with a carpet of forget-me-nots, native trilliums, those stunning hydrangeas called Invincible Sublime that are all kinds of limey, saturated greens, and create the feel of a path through the woods leading to who knows where. Although you'll know where because you're watching this video and you know that this pathway leads into what I'm going to call the Magnolia Garden, which is the back left corner of our property, largely undeveloped at the moment, but so much potential back here. The crown jewel of this area is the magnolia tree called Elizabeth that I planted 10 years ago. She's so lovely. I want to add at least one more, possibly two. And as you'll notice, the color story has changed now. Up front, we had pinks, apricots, and creams. Back here, we've got yellows, blues, purples, and greens. I love color, but I don't love it all at once together in a big jumble. It overwhelms me, and I feel like things get lost that way. So the garden room concept works perfectly for structuring color in a way that strikes that balance between planned and organic. I have a lot of ideas for this area, but I haven't really locked in exactly where I'm going just yet. So these are some ideas of the feel that I want back here, with the idea of highlighting a yellow and golden roses, more of those stunning green hydrangeas, purple foxgloves, and ideally I'd love a seating area back here, potentially with a trellised border for privacy and visual structure. This is such a big space, I'm gonna have to shape it carefully. And that brings us to the apiary, which I want to also develop into a potager and cutting garden, in addition to being a working apiary, which it is. It's sunny and the soil is rich here from me amending this when I originally had it as a vegetable garden. So it's the perfect place to be growing herbs, perennial vegetables, medicinal plants. I'd even have a couple of nursery plant beds, I think, in here. Right now, this poor garden is a disaster. We had a huge ash tree that needed emergency removal late in the fall, and they had to bring massive equipment in here, and they basically crushed anything that was remaining in here. That's okay, they were able to work around my beehives, and I do have some survivors. This rhubarb has been in my family for decades. We pass it down through divisions, and I've been growing my own garlic year after year from the same bulbs, so I'm thrilled that I can mark it safe. Ever since I saw this photo of the green picket fence with arbor, I've wanted to put that here at the front of the apiary / potager. And my plan is to repurpose the picket fence from the front yard back here with a cedar arbor that I already own, and flank it with Vanessa Bell roses, which I already have. They're this gorgeous light yellow, and grow something like the pilgrim maybe up and over this arbor. I'd also love to experiment with wattle fencing back here for garden beds, try my hand at some espalier fruit trees, and generally just turn this space into a truly French country potager vibe surrounding my beehives. On that note, behind the apiary and to the left of my huge chicken run is an area we call the wild zone, or the wild area. It's totally undeveloped and we've done literally nothing with it. But I think this is the perfect spot to grow some hazel and some willow that we can use to coppice for garden art and wattle fencing and all kinds of other purposes. So that's what I'm thinking about doing back here. It's a loose concept at the moment, but that's where I'm leaning at the moment. I don't have to decide right now, but I think that'd be a great use of that space. As this channel grows and develops, we'll talk a lot about French country garden design, French influence on gardens, old world gardens, all of those sort of concepts, because that is where my passion truly lies when it comes to gardening. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting my brand new channel, and I will see you in the next video.